Hey guys, today I will be discussing when to analyze the metadata changes and what should be your next steps. Well, my process is that before I take a decision about making any changes, I give the algorithms some time, both Google and Apple. So with iOS apps, I prefer waiting 2 to 3 weeks. With Google Play, I prefer waiting 3 to 4 weeks before I create any final reports and make a decision about the metadata change. Further change. Having said that, it doesn't mean that during these 2 to 3 weeks I just sit and don't look at the data, at any metrics. I always check metrics and their initial impact on the app's performance, And there are 3 things that I check within 2 to 5 days after the metadata launch. And then also until those 2 to 3 weeks will pass. So the 3 things are our keyword rankings, impressions, and downloads. In some cases, I also look a little bit down the funnel, but I will cover this a little bit later. So when we talk about keyword changes and keyword rankings, what we want to do is we want to, of course, use an ASO tool and see if there was any negative impact on the keyword rankings. And the keywords that we need to look at are those that we specifically targeted. That's one thing. And another thing, overall performance. Yeah, because sometimes you change one thing, everything else also changes and you don't understand why. So always check those keywords that you replaced or targeted, but also the other keywords as well. Then second metric would be your impressions. Yeah, so after you launched your metadata update, usually consoles take some time. Yeah, and Google doesn't show impressions, Apple does. So wait 2, 3, 4 days, then go to your App Store Connect, go to your Google Play console and check impressions for App Store and Google Store listing visitors for Android. If you don't see any drastic negative trends, so if your impressions didn't drop, they are stable or they are increasing, that's fine, right? It means that you are safe. For now, your keyword metadata has not done any damage to your performance. The third metric that we are looking at is our downloads, and they can, there are also several scenarios what could happen. Downloads could go up, downloads could go stable, downloads could go down. Here, what's important to say that it's not only keywords that have impact on your downloads, right? We also take into account our screenshots, our icons, our ratings. Yeah, so if you see, for example, that your, let's say, impressions go up, but your downloads are stable, that's actually, that's still not not very bad. Yeah, we will need to investigate why conversion rate decreased. Maybe it's because we started targeting irrelevant keywords. Yeah, or we thought that they were relevant, but they actually don't convert that much. So we will need to figure this out. But if your downloads went down, that's a negative sign. If your impressions went up and your downloads went down, that's a negative sign. You need to investigate more what's happening with your product, also if there are any crashes or things like that. So having said that, if during this initial phase I am not seeing any negative trends in impressions, keyword rankings, and downloads, I give algorithms more time to stabilize my rankings, because during the first or second week they will be unstable. So I will not have a clear picture. How am I indexed? What is my final rank? That's why I like to give it some time. And then when 2 or 3 weeks for App Store and 3 or 4 weeks for Google Play have passed, I will start preparing the reports, and I will show you now how I do the reports, and yeah, you can see if it applies to your app. Keyword rankings history, I usually use a Google Sheet where I put down all my keywords, their volumes, and then I have different dates, and I will be showing how the rankings have changed. And then at the end, I will be having this table similar to this, yeah, where we can see how many keywords are ranking from 1 to 3, how many from 4 to 10, etc., etc. So this sheet is usually something that I use for regular keyword rankings tracking, and also for metadata updates tracking. So I can write down that here I had a metadata update or something, so that I remember what happens. Now, having said that, you don't need to maintain this sheet if you are very comfortable using your ASO tool, and it gives you data fast about how your rankings have changed. Different ASO tools show this data in different ways. I can show you an example from, for example, from this is app follow, and here I added an app called ABC Mouse. I don't know whether they had a metadata update. I just want to show you what kind of data app follow can give you besides showing you the keyword rankings. Yeah, so they have these different indexes, scores, search visibility scores, total number of ranked keywords. Then you can go ahead and see what were top gainers and top losers, and you can of course also change the dates over here. You can select a country also. Usually we would do that, yeah, when we analyze the metadata change, because it's for a specific country. And then here they would give you a graph about, yeah, how many keywords also ranked in top 1, top 5, etc., etc. So if you, let's say, stick to one tool and you feel comfortable with it, and this is enough for you to track the change, that's great. You don't need to maintain any other sheets. Another tool that I use sometimes is AppTweak, and I added an app called Lovely Face Yoga and Exercise. I don't work with this app. Again, I have no idea whether they have done any metadata before, but the data that AppTweak will show you is also a visibility score. So this is an estimation, right? Like how visible your app is over time based on the number of keywords ranked and the rank itself, right? And here you can also see when there was an update or a release of the app. So if, let's say, I don't know, you see that here you released a new update and you changed your keywords, and then you see a sudden growth or drop, that would be an overall indication about how your metadata worked. And then at the bottom here you can also see like different metrics, and the interesting one here is that you can also feel like add several dates what you want to compare, and they will show you how your keyword increased or decreased in rankings, taking into account these 2 dates that you are comparing. So that's another way you can track your keyword rankings. I like to have the sheet because first of all, I'm an app growth consultant, so the companies that I work with are all using very different tools, and if I have a Google sheet, I can actually see a history for each keyword for each date, and then overall trend. So it's easier just for me, right? Then I mentioned to you that if you see any negative trends during those first a couple of days, Yeah, this is a signal to you actually that you need to take an action faster than waiting for 2 to 3 weeks. Um, it means that something didn't work. Maybe you removed a very important keyword from your title. Yeah, check that. Maybe you removed something from your keyword field or subtitle that formed a strong combination and you lost a ranking. Check that. So first check what happened to the metadata. Yeah, what were the changes that happened to the metadata? If you see that you haven't done anything like that, yeah, so actually all the very relevant keywords are there, all the strong combinations are there, but there is a drop all of a sudden, yeah, in impressions. Several things you can check for is have there been any algorithm changes, and you can also check that with the help of different algorithm change detectors. Just Google Apple algorithm change detector and you will see some resources. There is one on AppTweak as well, and you can see the graph. If there is a certain bump, a drop, it means there was an algorithm change, and that could actually have more impact on your performance than your keyword update. Also, if you are running paid ads, or if you have been running paid ads, what's the situation there? Maybe the spend increased or decreased. Maybe the channels, the composition of channels decreased or increased. Also, very important factor. What happens to your product? Maybe with this release, there was some product changes that caused a lot of crashes. That could help, that could happen, and that can also give you some negative results in your um, impressions and downloads. What's happening with your ratings and reviews? Maybe because of the bad update of the product, a bunch of negative reviews appeared, and this also impacts your conversion rate to download, and that's why you see a drop in downloads. So these are the factors that you should keep in mind when you are analyzing, and especially if you are seeing that the trend is negative, right? Because you need to understand what's the core of the problem. I also mentioned to you previously that sometimes I also track not only keyword rankings, impressions, and downloads, but also some bottom of the funnel metrics. And this is not for the apps, for all the apps, but for some apps, this is very important. I will give you an example, and you can then think if it applies to your apps. Yeah, so for example, I work with the different apps within the kids category. Yeah, so I see that through organic and also through Apple search ads, that keywords that are related to learning, education, some specific learning subjects, traffic that comes from those keywords monetizes better. Yeah, if the app has a subscription based model, so more people are converting to trialists and then to subscribers if they are coming from these learning education related keywords. If we are talking about fun, entertainment, all of those things, you will probably notice more impressions and downloads, but conversion to monetization will be lower. So that's something that I always keep in mind when I do metadata changes. And yeah, here you need to keep the balance and understand, which keywords to target. Maybe I don't need that many downloads, but my main goal is to monetize them better. Yeah, then and because the app is really about learning, right, or education, then I would go for education related keywords. And when I do metadata changes, I will make sure that I don't change everything entirely so that the app becomes fun based, right? Or vice versa. I know that some of the kids apps, they also monetize through ads, especially in Google Play. So for them, probably, targeting fun related keywords would not be a bad idea because they will bring more downloads and they will spend time in the app and monetize through ads. So yeah, these are just things to keep in mind. I hope this video was useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or maybe I didn't cover something that you were specifically interested in. Subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on. We will be discussing further ASO and growth related topics here. If you want to find out more, yeah, don't forget to subscribe. See you later.